your sleep. They design sleep masks and accessories that don't just look nice, they actually help you sleep more comfortably. Their mission is built around the pro-nap movement, reminding us that rest isn't lazy. It's powerful. Taking time for yourself for real quality rest is something to be proud of. They create different masks for different needs: cooling, warming, weighted, silk, and each one is made with comfort, adjustability, and true blackout in mind. The one I've been using lately is the Manta Sleep Silk Mask, and the fabric is so dreamy. It's made from 100% pure silk with 3 Momet silk eye cups and a 22 Momet silk strap, so it feels cool to the touch, very smooth, incredibly gentle on the skin. The cups are tapered for side sleeping comfort, and because they sit around your eyes instead of pressing directly on them, there's zero pressure on your eyelids, zero pressure on your lashes. Like all Manta Sleep masks, it's fully adjustable. You can shift the eye cups and strap until it fits your face perfectly. And of course, it gives you 100% blackout darkness. So whether you're trying to take a nap during the day or sleep through the night, it helps make you feel like you're wrapped in your own cozy cocoon. If you'd like to try it for yourself, you can visit the Manta Sleep website and use my code MOON for 10% off. I'll also leave the link and discount in the description and pinned comment, so it'll be easy to find. Hello, hello, hello. I hope that you are doing very, very, very well tonight. I'm so glad you're here tonight. You've done enough for the day, and now it's finally time to soften, to soften, to soften, to slow, to slow, to slow. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to plan. Just my voice and your breath. Go ahead and find a comfortable place to lie down or stay seated, whatever feels right. Let your shoulders fall heavy. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands rest loosely in your lap or at your sides. Feel the weight of your body sink a bit deeper, a bit deeper, a bit deeper. Now take a deep breath with me in through your nose and let it out slowly through your mouth. Again, in and out. Good. The space around you is starting to soften, softening up, softening up, softening up. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Let every muscle in your face smooth itself out. Your forehead, your cheek, and your jaw. Now I'll count you down, and with every number, you'll drift a little bit deeper, okay? 10. Your shoulders loosen, all the tension melting away. 9. Your spine settles, the weight of the day sliding off of you. 8. Your thoughts grow light. They drift like clouds across a calm sky. 7. Your breathing is deep, rhythmic, steady. 6. The air feels thick and gentle. Thick and gentle. 5. Your body feels heavy. Heavy and safe. 4. You're sinking down into calm, like roots into the soft earth. 3. Your mind feels quiet, still and open. 2. Your awareness softens now, moving from the thinking world into the feeling world. 1. You're here, deeply present, deeply relaxed, and ready to dream awake. Now, you hear the sound of rain, soft and steady, pattering against the window. The world outside is foggy, quiet, calm. You listen to the rhythm of the rain, to the faint ticking of the clock, to the distant rumble of thunder. You stretch slowly beneath your duvet, and you notice what kind of blanket you fell asleep under. Do you see a colorful patchwork quilt, or a buttery cream comforter, or a burnt orange knitted blanket? You lift it away, feeling the rush of cooler air against your skin. At the foot of the bed, your cat stirs. He's been napping there with you, curled up like a warm little loaf of bread. As soon as you move, he stretches his paws and gives you a slow, deliberate blink. How do you greet him? Do you reach out and gently scratch under his chin? Or whisper a quiet good afternoon, letting him crawl up onto your chest underneath the blanket? Or do you toss one of the little felt mice from the bedside table so he can bounce on it? You swing your legs over the side of the bed and take a deep breath. You stand and open up your closet. What do you choose to wear out tonight? A plaid flannel shirt layered over a ripped long sleeve and your favorite, most comfortable pair of jeans. Or a wool sweater in chestnut brown tucked into a set of corduroy overalls. Or a moss green cardigan buttoned over a cream turtleneck and soft linen trousers. Now, something to warm you up before you head out. Which mug do you pick? A small brown mug shaped like an acorn. A tall amber mug painted with rusty leaves. Or a short, wide mug the color of pumpkin pie. What will you pour in it? Hot apple cider, chai tea with oat milk, or cocoa with a dash of sea salt. You sit with your drink in the window seat, watching the rain patter down the glass, and notice a postcard on the table. The paper is slightly wrinkled from the damp air. It says, Annual Harvest Festival, tonight at 7. Live music, local crafts, and warm cider for everyone. You'd forgotten it was tonight. You glance at the clock and see there's just enough time to get to town before the lanterns are lit. You rinse your cup, slip on your biggest, warmest brown coat with the green plaid inner lining, and head to the entryway. On the mat, 3 pairs of shoes wait for you. Do you reach for the worn black leather boots, perfect for crunching leaves, or the wool-lined clogs that keep your feet the warmest? Or do you go for the rain boots, cheerful yellow and slightly muddy from your last walk? What little detail do you want to add to your look before heading out? A favorite pair of small gold earrings that have always felt a little lucky. A patterned scarf that smells faintly like cedar from the chest it used to be in at Grandma's house. Or a colorful knitted hat you made last winter time. It's a little uneven but full of charm. You open the door and step outside. You find the air crisp and clean, smells like pine and wet earth. Clouds are beginning to break apart, the sunlight streaming through. You lock the door, take a deep breath, and start down the lane. There are 3 ways to reach the town square, each familiar and lovely in its own way. Do you take the wooded trail where leaves blanket the ground and squirrels start across the path? Do you take the riverside route where the water runs quick from the rain? Or do you take the cobblestone lane winding between cottages with smoke rising from chimneys, neighbors waving as you pass? All 3 paths lead the same way, toward the soft glow in the distance. Something small crosses your path. What is it? A robin hopping along the wet stones? A snail on the path, glistening after the rain? Or a rabbit darting out ahead of you, pausing and then disappearing into the ferns? You start to hear the faint sound of fiddles and voices echoing down the hill. The first lanterns are being lit in the square. Little circles of gold against the blue sky. You reach the crest of the hill and pause for a moment to admire the view below you. The harvest festival stretching out, booths lined with twinkling lights. Wood smoke and apple tart scent drifting up to meet you. A string of lanterns leads you down the hill, their glow reflected in puddles left by the rain. You turn a corner and find yourself standing before a booth framed with garlands of dried orange slices and bundles of cinnamon sticks. A big linen banner across the top reads, Caroline's Candles. Hundreds of candles line the shelves. Some are tall and slender, wax dripping down in delicate rivulets down their sides. Others sit in small amber glass jars, their flames trembling in the breeze. The air is thick with scent, thick with it, thick with it. Vanilla, wood, apple, with a rustic smokiness underneath it all. Behind the counter stands a woman who looks perfectly at home in this light. Her silver hair is pulled back in a loose bun, and her shawl is woven in shades of cream and rust, a little frayed at the edges. Her hands are speckled with wax, and her nails glint faintly with copper polish that's a bit worn away. Good evening, she says with a smile. These are all small batch. I pour and scent them myself, right in my kitchen. Take your time. They all smell different once they warm up in your hands. You lean in, scanning the neat labels written in her looping cursive. Would you like the pumpkin chai candle with a swirl of amber and cream wax tied with a bit of baker's twine around the lid? Or the cedarwood and rain candle? The wax is deep green and the scent is clean and grounding. Wet leaves, cold air. You picture yourself reading by the window while it burns. Or the fig and smoke candle. The wax is a deep plum color poured into a dark glass jar that catches the lantern light in subtle reflections, much like a glass of wine in candlelight. It smells rich, fig, cedar ash, a trace of burnt sugar like creme brulee. Which candle would you like? When you've chosen, she nods as if she understands something about your decision. That's a good one, she says. It burns slow, clean. Keep the wick short and don't blow it out too quickly. Let it cool properly. She begins wrapping it carefully in a sheet of brown paper, tucking in a small slip of paper with care instructions and tying it up with twine. You notice her hands are steady, practiced. Her movements are unhurried. She passes it to you and you thank her, holding the little parcel against your chest. You walk towards the next booths. Just a bit further down that row, you spot a rolling wooden cart, wheels splattered with dried mud, parked beneath a tangle of string lights. In the middle of the cart sits a broad copper kettle with steam rising in lazy curls that catch the glow of the lanterns overhead. There's jars of cinnamon sticks, bags of cloves, bottles of dark syrup that gleam. A hand-painted sign leans against one wheel and reads, Cider and Company. Behind the cart stands a man in wool suspenders and a corduroy shirt, sleeves rolled to the elbows. He's quite tall, and the front of his apron bears a faint dusting of sugar. When he spots you, his face breaks into a wide grin. Good evening, he says, wiping his hands on a towel. First cup's on me, but you've got to choose your flavor right. That's half the fun. He gestures to 3 small chalkboards propped beside the kettle. The first is spiced apple and vanilla. He lifts a lid on the pot and a cloud of steam rushes out. It smells warm and buttery. Slices of apple float lazily on top, and you catch the gentle sweetness of vanilla bean. He pours you a ladleful into a heavy cup, the kind that forces you to hold it with both hands. It smells like a kitchen full of company and candlelight. When you take your first sip, it's mellow and smooth, exactly what you hoped it would be. The second pot simmers with a deep red hue. It's cranberry maple. He stirs it, and you see the glint of cranberries bobbing at the surface. The scent is tart and woodsy, chased by a trace of maple syrup. He hands over a sample with a wink. Careful, it'll wake you up faster than coffee. It tastes tangy and then sweet. Or the last pot is pale gold, pear and ginger. When he lifts the ladle, it drips clear, fragrant. My favorite, he admits, has a bit of a kick. You can smell the ginger before you can taste it. It warms you up the best. Would you like the spiced apple or the cranberry maple or the ginger pear? He pours you a big cup, watches carefully for your reaction, and is clearly pleased when your shoulders drop. He says, "Go on ahead. The night's just getting started. It's even better down that way." You thank him, tuck your hands into your coat pockets, and mosey along. The path curves slightly, leading you towards another tent. This one with a banner rippling gently in the breeze just above the entrance. Autumn hollow carving. You step beneath the tent flap. Inside you find a long wooden table stretches the length of the space, covered in pumpkins of every size. Some are smooth and pale, some thick-stemmed, some lopsided. There's a smattering of people spread at the table, working on their pumpkin carving designs. At the far end, a woman in her late 40s with freckled cheeks and a red braid tucked under a knit cap is sharpening up a small carving knife against a whetstone. She looks up and smiles, her hands orange from her work. "Got room for one more," she says. "Pick whichever." You look down the line of pumpkins, start trying to decide. You consider a perfectly round, medium-sized pumpkin. Its skin smooth and deeply orange, stem curled like a handle. Or there's a tall, narrow one, leaning slightly asymmetrically to one side, its surface mottled with green streaks. Or a short, squat pumpkin, pale but endearing. You pick your pumpkin, pick your pumpkin, pick your pumpkin, pick your pumpkin, and she slides over a small carving kit your way, complete with spoon, knife, and a few other carving tools. Around you, people work quietly. A teenager etching a moon and stars. A couple arguing about triangle or circle eyes. The tent smells of pumpkin pulp and cedar shavings. A sheet of inspiration sketches Which calls to you?
A simple, smiling jack-o'-lantern, or
a cluster of autumn leaves cut in delicate lines that let the light spill through,
or a moonlit window design, 4 panes and a crescent moon peeking through. You pick your design and start to carve. The woman passes behind you, offering tips.
Thin walls glow better. You want the candlelight to be able to peek through.
When you finish up, you brush off the shavings and step back. You're quite happy with your finished product.
The woman places a small tea light inside and lights it up with a match. The flame flickers and then steadies.
That's a good one, she says. You want to put it somewhere you'll see it when you come home. She hands the pumpkin to you carefully.
Hold it close on the walk back. Wind's picking up tonight.
You thank her and step back out into the cool air. The sounds of the festival fold over you again.
You walk slowly, the glow of your pumpkin casting a faint light against your coat, and you head towards the next row of booths.
Following the gravel path until the sound of chatter fades away to a gentle murmur. This corner of the festival feels calmer, the kind of spot people wander into once they've already had their fill of
Food and noise.
Here, between 2 oak trees, stands a narrow wooden stall draped in ribbons,
There's hundreds of them.
long and fluttering, shifting in the breeze. The lanterns above swing slightly, and when the light catches them, all the ribbons shimmer softly.
Harvest ribbons.
Behind the table, a person about your age sits on a stool, absent-mindedly looping ribbon through their fingers.
They have short, dark hair and a red wool vest.
They look up when you approach, a soft smile forming on their face.
Hi there. Take a look, let me know if I can help you with anything.
They gesture towards the lines of ribbons, each labeled in tidy handwriting on tags.
Every color means something different, they say.
You look over the selection. There are dozens of shades, but a few in particular.
Catch your eye.
Would you like the amber ribbon? It's almost the color of the cider you just drank.
It's slightly frayed at one edge, but soft from being handled.
Or would you like the deep green ribbon? Smooth.
Darker towards the edges, like pine needles. When you run it through your fingers, it feels especially cool to the touch.
Or would you like the burgundy ribbon? Velvet.
It smells faintly of the cedar display it hangs from. You can easily imagine it tied around a book, a letter, or the handle of a basket.
The booth keeper watches you considering them, elbows on the counter, chin in their hand.
That's the hardest part,
They say,
they all look good under these lantern lights.
you finally choose your ribbon.
They measure carefully, then snip the ribbon with a quiet click. They tie one end into a neat loop and slide it across the counter.
For your wrist, they say, or your bag, or your jacket, wherever you'll see it. You tie it around your wrist, and it feels right. soft against your skin, light enough that you barely notice it, but comfortably present. You thank them and step back into the cool air. The ribbon flutters slightly when the wind picks up. You keep following the path, enjoying the variety of red, yellow, and orange leaves scattered over the ground. Eventually, you come upon a booth built from rough-hewn planks and stacked crates.
A sign, brushed with a dusting of clay, reads, "Earth and Hollow." The table inside is covered in linen the shade of oatmeal.
Across it are rows of hand-thrown pottery pieces, bowls that curve like cupped hands, pitchers with uneven lips, candle holders shaped from coiled clay, and
Platters glazed in riverstone gray. Some glint under the lantern light. Others are matte, earthy, and cool to the touch. Faint fingerprints remain on a few.
behind the table, the potter sits on a low stool beside a small traveling wheel.
One foot pressing gently on the pedal.
He's in his 50s, salt and pepper hair tied back with a strip of cloth.
"Evening," he says. "Careful. Some of these just came out of the kiln, still holding their heat." He gestures across the table, and you can feel the warmth radiating from the freshest pieces. The air smells of wet stone and wood smoke.
You reach for the soft moss green bowl.
The soft moss green bowl shaped like a cupped leaf, the glaze pooling in its veins, perfect for holding rings or salt.
Or the terracotta vase,
With a crooked neck and thumbprints near the rim. A single stem would look nice inside it.
or the pale blue candle holder.
Molded like a shallow shell. Faint flecks of golden along its ridges, just right to catch the light from a tea light.
Or the smoky gray platter streaked with ashy glaze.
Seems perfect for serving bread or pie.
You make your choice. That one's a good fit, he says.
He wipes his palms on his towel.
He wraps your piece carefully, tying it up with twine. You wander back out into the night. And find a place where the air is thick with the scent of butter, cinnamon, and brown sugar.
The lanterns hang lower in this part of the square. Their glow catching curls of steam drifting from the booth up ahead.
The sign above it is hand-painted in looping red script.
Brickboat Bakery since 1989.
The counter crowded with baskets, cooling racks, cake stands. Every inch of space is filled up with something golden.
Behind the counter stands a stout woman in her 60s, wearing a flower-speckled apron and a cardigan buttoned only halfway.
Her hair is pinned up in a loose twist, and she hums quietly as she wipes down the counter between customers. When she spots you lingering nearby, her eyes brighten up.
She gestures towards the display.
Go on then. Which one's calling your name tonight?
You glance down at the selection.
Would you like?
The caramel apple. The pumpkin hand pie.
She hands it over and watches your first bite. She pours you a small paper cup of cider.
Just enough to wash down the last crumbs.
Drink, she says.
Cold air's starting to bite.
You take a sip. It's sweeter than the one you had earlier. Lighter, too.
Almost floral.
She tucks a small paper bag into your hand before you leave.
One extra cookie, neatly wrapped. For later, she says simply.
You thank her, and she waves you off like she's dusting flour from her sleeves. You tuck the bag into your coat pocket. You keep following the path, beyond the booths, past the last clusters of laughter.
The crowd thins until it's only the sound of your own steps and the low rustle of leaves.
At the edge of the festival grounds, the trail opens onto a small wooden bridge arching over a narrow stream.
Strings of paper lanterns hang from the railing, dozens of them swaying in the breeze. Amber, rose, violet, blue.
A volunteer is there, an older man in a faded green jacket.
Seated on a stool beside a tin box of matches. He's just tending to the lanterns, trimming wicks, adjusting the height of the strings.
Evening, he says when he sees you. They're meant to be lit by hand. Choose whichever you like. You step closer.
Feeling the faint chill from the water below. The bridge creaks softly under your boots. The lantern's reflections ripple across the stream.
Do you choose the amber lantern?
The violet lantern or the rose lantern.
You strike a match. Bring it to the wick.
The lantern blooms with light and joins the line of others swaying softly, lighting up the dark.
Good choice, the man says quietly. They look better all together, don't they? Beyond the bridge, a bonfire burns steady.
A few benches and hay bales circle around it.
And the light from the fire dances across the faces of the last lingering guests.
You can hear the crackling of the wood. You find a spot at the edge of the circle to settle in.
The warmth reaching your knees first, and then your hands.
A woman passes by carrying a tin tray of marshmallows and wooden skewers. She pauses, offering you one with a smile.
Do you toast it slowly and patiently until it turns perfectly golden brown?
The sugar caramelized in the heat.
Or do you let it catch fire for a moment, blowing it out
And enjoying the crisp shell and melted inside.
or do you just eat it raw?
The fire pops as someone adds another log. You look up, enjoying the view of the lanterns from the bridge visible in the distance. The festival has thinned to a quiet hum. The shuffle of vendors closing up. The last few cups of cider being poured. The gentle clatter of crates.
You stand and brush the hay from your coat, looking back one last time. The booths are glowing.
The lanterns swaying lazily. What do you do before you leave?
Do you sit for one last moment by the fire, letting the heat soak into your palms, into your thoughts? The sound of the crackling wood
Soothing you.
Or do you take out your pocket journal, scribbling a few words about the day?
Nothing too high effort, but just something to remember it by.
Or do you untie the ribbon from your wrist, the one you chose earlier?
And loop it around a low bridge by the gate.
You finally start walking, and the festival falls behind you.
The path home is darker now, the stars faintly visible between the drifting clouds.
When you reach your door, you pause for a moment before going in.
Through the window, you can see your cat waiting for you in his favorite spot to curl up by the door. You smile and step inside, breathing deeply. You set your things down gently.
Your new pottery on the counter, your coat over the chair.
Your cat stretches, hops onto the bed, and watches you with slow, contented blinks.
Which pajamas do you change into? The soft flannel set,
In deep green, the pale blue pajamas sprinkled with tiny silver embroidered stars, or the pair of brushed cotton pajamas the color of caramel with little wooden buttons down the front.
Outside, the last of the festival lanterns flicker faintly on the horizon.
Like little stars